pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And welcome, everybody. I'm sorry I'm out of pocket, but I wanted to be here tonight for the meeting. So here we go. I'm going to start with the mayor's leadership statement. That is, the city of Hampton endeavors at all times to promote and model the principles of professionalism, trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting this evening's meeting, we expect that all participants will act in a respectful manner consistent with these principles. Thank you. Next, with public comment. I believe we have one in advance. Mr. Holmstrom.
Mayor, Mr. Dunt, council members, my name is Bill Holmstrom and I live in Ward 3, Hampton. I would like to address the council with two issues this evening, which occurred at our last council meeting. The first issue I would like to bring up is in regards to a Code Council article written by Councilman Davies. I regret that I brought up and voiced my concerns about his article at the public council meeting. In retrospect, this matter should have been discussed in a private setting with Councilman Davies and myself. Almost immediately after speaking, I realized and regretted my error in voicing my concerns in such a public manner. The following day, I sent an email to Mr. Davies along with my apology for my actions. Mr. Davies graciously accepted my apologies, and I thank him for doing so. However, since I had voiced my concerns in such a public way, I also wanted to voice my apology in a similar and public manner. Mr. Davies, again, I want to express my apology for not discussing this in a private setting with you as should have taken place. I hope that we can put this matter behind us as we will continue to serve the community of Hampton. The second issue that I'd like to address this evening is my vote on the requested exceptions to our livestock ordinance 5505. Normally, I would not comment on my vote. Except in this case, I do not want there to be any controversy within the community for my reasoning for my vote. This decision was very difficult for me, as I am sure that it was for all of the council members. To be perfectly honest, I prefer not to have any chickens within the confines of the Hampton city limits. I had voiced my many concerns at our workshops and council meetings in which this issue was addressed. I do not agree with the exceptions in the ordinance. I feel that our yes should mean yes and our no's should mean no. I intended to vote no. I wanted to say no to chickens in the city limits. It would have been very easy for me to say no and justify it to myself. I was about to say no, but then I said I. Why? Because when all of the noise had settled, the insults and the accusations had quieted, I realized that isn't my job to just say no, because I felt, I prefer, I intended, I wanted, I justify. My job as councilman is to listen to our citizens' concerns, investigate whether they are valid and reasonable, and then vote. There is an exception stated for this request in our ordinance, and these citizens made a legitimate request based on this exception. All of the applicants do reside in a unique portion of our community without any close neighbors or businesses. Not one person, to my recollection, appeared before the council to express and speak a dissenting vote for the request presented to us. Yes, I personally did receive 4 comments. 2 were voiced in passing, saying no chickens. That's it, 2 words, no chickens. I did receive one mail wanting me to vote yes, because this person, one email, because this person wanted also to raise chickens on his property. And I had one citizen who was driving past me while I was mowing my front lawn and stopped and expressed to me the reasons for not allowing chickens within the city limits. And I thank him for doing so. So why vote yes for 2 applicants and no on the third? On the surface, all 3 applicants appear to share a reasonable request for the exception. It was when you read the letters of each applicant that the differences occurred. The types of coops, the size of coops, the insulation of the coops, the particular care given to the chickens for health reasons, the assurances not to expand the number of chickens currently owned, the plans for improved conditions and care for the chickens come spring, the statements of never planning to sell their eggs or other goods from the chickens, or not slaughtering of the chickens in the city limits. These statements were made and documented in the request of 2 of the applicants, but not found in detail within the third application. Perhaps these issues not addressed in the third applicant's letter could have been addressed. However, the applicant did not approach the council or offer another letter expanding her request. Yes, the third applicant has a very sizable property. However, with free range not allowed via Ordinance 55.14, the much larger number of chickens owned, along with the expansive property over the other 2 applicants, does not come into consideration. As a council, we were instructed to vote yes or no to each applicant. We were not allowed to make stipulations to the application in order to secure our vote, either yes or no. Those are the directives before us. Applicants 1 and 2 addressed most of my concerns with their request. Unfortunately, applicant 3's request did not. I am hoping that this clarifies any questions as to the reasoning of my vote. And as I explained, this was a very difficult decision to make, as I am sure that it was for most of the council and the mayor. Just as a side note, it is really unfortunate that as a city council, we are not allowed to meet as a group prior to any of our public meetings and have an honest conversation. As such, it is only natural that from time to time, in our deliberations, that the council will undoubtedly have differences of opinions. It would be very easy to say yes to every request, to smile and make a joke, as long as it fits into your agenda. Fortunately, the majority of the council takes their job seriously, even if it means from time to time these differences will arise. I would like to assure my fellow council members of one thing, that should a difference of opinion occur, which I feel needs to be addressed, I will speak openly about it, and you will not hear about my concerns, and you will hear about my concerns directly from me. You will not hear about my differences through gossip. It will not be started on a rumor mill. It will not be spoken of behind your back. There will be no attempt by me to try to create dissent between the council and the community. I will not make a statement on social media for the sole purpose of stirring the pot or pushing an agenda. Any concerns which I may have, you will hear it directly from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holmstrom. Appreciate that. At this point, is there anybody else that would like to make any public comment this evening? Okay, not seeing any and not seeing any movement. I think we will move on to our next agenda item. This will be the nuisance update. We have Mr. Tarr in the room.
Mayor, Chief Morrison and Doug Tarr are not at the meeting. They're
Okay.
working on a city matter.
Okay.
Mayor, I've got a question for Ron. First question, 2 questions. Can you turn the volume up on Steve somehow?
I don't think so. I mean, I'd have to look into it, but I can't.
Isn't there a volume knob on that receiver?
Well, I don't know about someone who's not here. I mean, there are for these microphones, but I don't know about.
You turn mine up. I don't know if that helps or not.
They're not labeled, Barry.
Okay, well, my question is, maybe you know when they're gonna burn that old Heidi house.
I think it was supposed to be tonight.
Okay.
That's
I know
what
they were
believe.
prepping it, but, you know, where the weather came into it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the weather impacted it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We'll move forward, and hopefully Chief Morrison and Mr. Tar can be with us on Thursday and give us an updated report. Next there on the item on the agenda is for Wayne Riggins. This is a request to remove sidewalk at 826 2nd Street Northwest. Is Mr. Riggins here?
Yes, he's approaching the podium.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Dunt, members of the council. I appreciate your time this evening. I'm here to request removal of 2 sidewalks that are on the north side of my property at 826 2nd Street Northwest. Yep,
That's your property? Okay.
you can see them in the shade there. They're 2 sections each side of my driveway. They're, I guess what they call a private property sidewalk, and I never could figure out why the people put them in there when we bought the place, but they don't reach the alley, they don't reach to the curb on 2nd Street Northwest there. They're 2 45-foot long sections, and they're, over the years, the Iowa weather has deteriorated them to where something needs to be done. I think I can count on one hand the amount of people I've seen walk on that sidewalk in the, 38 years I've lived there. And thanks to the hail damage this year, we've been redoing the house and the roof and everything, and I'd like to ask the city council's permission to remove them sidewalks and fill it in with dirt and then reseed it. And I know there's rules and regulations in the city, and I respect them rules and regulations, and I'm just here to see if I could obtain permission to remove them at my expense. I believe that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Riggins. I'll just make a quick note on that. For if you see Mr. Riggins' property, that he got the only sidewalk on the block, or several of the blocks in this area of town. I think is his, and then the 2 properties on the southwest of that southeast corner of that block has somewhat of a sidewalk in front of them. Everything else does not have a sidewalk along the right-of-way or the road. And if you look at the surrounding properties, surrounding blocks, they are the same. So what's the council think? I don't have an issue with Mr. Riggins taking that sidewalk out, but I want to hear from the council, so.
Any comments?
Yeah, I think it's logical they just take it out.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Why don't we have sidewalks? Just- Why aren't there sidewalks anywhere?
Well, I don't know, but I'm guessing back when these properties were built upon, they just weren't required to put in a sidewalk.
Right, I think we have, and the majority of our town, where there is heavy foot traffic, there are sidewalks. Some of these outlining neighborhoods, as Ron said, they apparently were not built with sidewalks, and I don't know, people walk in the street, or they walk on the curb, or or what they do, but, that's all I know about it.
I think the picture tells the story. There's nothing there. And if it's cracked and broken, I see no problem with taking it out. But someday, we may have a sidewalk program, but that's a big
Someday.
wish.
Yep.
Mr. Riggins said it was needed much repair, so it sounds to me like it would probably have to come out anyway before anything else was done to it. So, and that might never happen.
I would kind of like to back up to when we told the food bank, no, you can't take the sidewalk out. You need to repair the sidewalk or put a new one in. So are we going to run into conflict with that decision and then making an opposite decision here? I just, thinking out loud, what do you guys think?
Well, the neighbor to the north of that there were sidewalks on that street already.
Right.
It would have taken them out then.
I think the neighbor to the north was the only other sidewalk.
The food
Ended.
pantry has a lot of private walk-ins, so they're
Yes.
going to be using the sidewalk.
Yeah.
All right. Any other discussion around this? Any comments?
Mayor, I would just recommend if the consensus is to allow Mr. Riggins to remove his sidewalk, that we put it on Thursday's agenda for official action
Yeah.
for the record.
Yep, that's where I was headed with it. You know, if we got a consensus this evening, it looks like we got to my left side of the room is in agreement. Mr. Palmer and Ms. Creepy, would you be okay with that?
I guess
And think-
Kristen, have any comments?
I agree. I think we could put it on for Thursday.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's no other discussion around that, and it looks like we have a consensus, we will put this on Thursday to vote to allow Mr. Riggins to remove his sidewalk. All right. Thank you all. Now we'll move on to our next item. This is for Miss Mary Rodriguez at 1013 4th Street Southeast. And this is on to discuss the council denying her request for chickens. This is Rodriguez. Are you with us tonight?
She is not present in the council chambers. Is she on Zoom, Becky? She is not on Zoom, Mayor.
Okay. Well, as I understand it, we have, she has provided another, if you would, or a email regarding her chickens, her request, and I believe asking that we reconsider that. We've already taken action on her first request, so since we have a new request, I think that we can put this on for Thursday and vote again on her letter, on her, whether she can have chickens or not. I would also say that, I think one of the issues was how many chickens she has as opposed to the other people, the other two residents. We will be working on an ordinance or regulations, if you will, for chickens in Hampton, because we did allow the other two parties to keep their chickens. So I would say that once we get that in place, we would expect that that all of the parties would adhere to the new ordinance and the regulations. Any discussion around that?
Mayor, I'd agree with that, to bring it up on Thursday.
Okay. Yep. Like I said, we've got her next request or a new request. So I would say let's put it on Thursday, take a vote, and see where it falls. Everybody else okay with that?
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Okay. All right, we will do that. Thank you. Next item up is the aquatic center, the 2025 stats and updates by Emily Eilderts. And I will say while you start, I didn't hear much about the pool, but it was very busy, and I think it was a great year for it. So take it away.
All right. Me too. So I'll just kind of read if anybody has any questions or anything, they can always stop me too while I'm reading what I wrote up a little bit here today. So I also think that we had a great season this year. There was very few that I even received of any sort of complaints or anything like that. So that's really good. The beginning did start off a little bit chilly in June, and we did end a little bit chilly. I was like, oh man, the 2 weeks after we closed, I think we're hotter than the last 2 weeks that we were open. But other than that, there weren't very many weather closures. When a lot of other places had to close due to weather, we were able to stay open as long as we could. We had attendance most days. I think one day maybe all season we closed due to low attendance. So that's really, really good for us as well. This year we employed 19 lifeguards and 13 concession workers, along with myself, and then Sydney Boozman was the assistant manager. Of those 19 lifeguards, though, I do know that at least 5 are not coming back for various reasons. One is becoming a CNA this year. One is planning to get a higher paying job, and 3 are off to college and other what they call big kid jobs. They're like, oh, I don't know if I want to be with the little kids anymore, kind of thing. Everybody else, I have not heard if they are planning to return or not. We have quite a few that need to be recertified, so that always sometimes is a big hurdle, even though they do get reimbursed a little bit for that. So programming this year, so for our Mommy and Me sessions that we started about maybe right after COVID, we started doing those. This year we had 8 participants between between 18 months and 3 years and an adult. Thinking about maybe moving that to August again, offering another session of that. I know when we first thought about it, we did it in August and it was a really big hit. We always had a waiting list. So maybe thinking about that again. Our preschool, though, was busting at the seams. We had 18 participants, which was almost too many, and a long waiting list. We may have to try and offer a third session, but it kind of got hard with softball schedules with lifeguards, things like that, to get in. Group lessons, we had 85 participants in group lessons this year. We did have way more in the second session than the first session. I don't know if that's due to cold, if it was, I don't know. We got our stuff out about the same time as we had in the past, but just noticing that numbers were a little bit down in the first session of group lessons versus the second. For private lessons, we had 80 that were signed up through our request system. Some don't always get signed up through the request system, but I would say roughly 80 private lesson students as well. Water aerobics, there was an average of 7 people, which is actually up from prior years, so that's really good. There was one day that I counted, we had at least 14 that were in there doing water aerobics, so that was really, really nice to see as well. One thing that was really, really down this year, I have a note about it later, is our swim team. And that was only had, I think, 8 participants this year. I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One, we're not USAA, whatever the things are, certified, so we can't get into some of the big swimming lesson or swim meets. Our season, pool season, is different than a lot of other clubs that do it. Those kinds of things. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, or just people just don't know about it. I know Becky probably could tell me more, but I know we sold over 200 pool passes this year. I don't know the exact number. I don't have that with me right now. I didn't go up and get any numbers, but definitely over 200 pool passes, quite a few after the cutoff was done. One of our new things this year that we are definitely planning to keep into the future is toddler time. I saw it on, I don't remember what other pools, social media, and I was like, oh, that'd be a really good idea. Like, so it's kind of calm. We don't really play a lot of music. We don't have any of our features on. It gives the time for like parents and the younger kids, like under 5, to get in the water. And or we had some requests for student or young kids that had special needs that maybe weren't under 5. And I said that is absolutely fine, but it was meant for 5 and under. So there's none of that rough housing, all that kind of stuff. And we did it at noon to like 12:50, so there's still a little bit of a break before we opened at 1. But we did it on, like, the 4th of July was a big hit. Doing it that day, I was kind of nervous, going, oh, I don't know what people are doing on the 4th of July. That was a huge hit, and we had it on a few Saturdays, kind of hit and miss. I think it's definitely going to be more of a regular thing. So my idea was maybe pair it with swim team. So if parents have older kids, you know, oh, they can go over to swim team, that kind of thing. Maybe thinking about that. With swim team, though, too, we did work on, we had 2 new, what if you would call them coaches, and they worked a little on figuring out exactly what they want to work on each time, each practice, that kind of thing. So it wasn't always the exact same thing, to kind of make it a little bit more fun for the kids as well. We did have 1 home swim meet with them, and it was really fun to watch the growth of those swimmers and our lifeguards. I kind of forced them, but it's okay to participate in the swim meet as well. So it was kind of fun watching that, and even a few of our concession stand workers participated. Okay, I have only one more thing after that. Any questions so far with that or anything? Yeah, Barry.
When you have swimming lessons, is that for a week or 2 weeks or?
So for the group lessons, it's 8 lessons. So we do 2 weeks, Monday through Thursday, and with Fridays is the makeup day. If we need, and actually, I think we needed to do a test out day differently than the day that it was supposed to be. But other than that, we didn't have any weather related issues. So that was really, really nice with swimming lessons this year. And then for private lessons, it's 5 half-an-hour lessons with a like one-on-one with a lifeguard.
Are the lifeguards, are they all girls or?
Nope, we have a pretty good mix this year. We are back up to having, I could even look it up. I think we had like 5 or 6 male lifeguards, maybe even more. I don't remember. I know one year we had almost half and half. That was awesome. Especially when it comes to cleaning the bathrooms at night. The girls don't really want to clean the boys' bathrooms, so it's kind of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I do.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was after the season ended or about the time the season ended. Anyway, Rockwall does a plan where if another pool closes, they honor their tickets. And really this year, Sheffield closed early because of whatever they had going on. Iowa Falls closed way early, but whatever they had going on. Is there a way that we can honor their tickets?
I was thinking about that also, and I would, one I would love to, but that's kind of something I wanted to talk about for the future, and I know obviously it's just workshop tonight or whatever. I don't think so, one, because it's our people who pay the property taxes to make that our pool, like supplement the pool money here. Also with how we do our passes, with it being very much on paper and very, very old school, I don't think that there's a way, like we just have to say then everybody gets to come for free in a way. Because that's kind of where I wanted to go with this next thing, is for the future. We really, really, really need an electronic way of keeping track of passes and who's on them and when people come in, all that kind of stuff. We did have 2 kids that we know of for sure that we didn't catch in time, that they were coming in and just writing down random numbers. They both, if we added it all up, owed over $200. So over $400 to the pool. And just like and especially when it's really, really busy and people are just signing in and coming in and everything, you can't like be like, oh, let me check this gigantic, and Becky does a great job, don't get me wrong. And then we do a great job of trying to write down when we're selling passes but it's all by hand. And we have some kids that have very horrible handwriting. And they might not remember to put all of the people's names on them. And then people just are like, oh, but so-and-so's my cousin. No, cousins can't be on there anyway. But like, they're like, oh, I get to do this. Well, if we had an electronic way of doing it, and I know Iowa Falls does, that's one. I know Humboldt does. I know other pools our size do have an electronic system. I don't know what it is. I have not even looked into it or any of those kinds of things. But it would make that just a million times easier on everything. Again, it wasn't just those 2 kids, but those were like the really big offenders. We even had some adults that were just randomly writing down because they saw other people writing down numbers, so they just wrote down numbers and got in. And I understand too that like it's never going to make money, but when we're losing that kind of money that should have been coming in, whether it was a pass that they bought for $60 would have saved them, or any of those kinds of things.
Well, we're a bigger pool than Rockwell.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if a small pool like Rockwell can figure it out, I should certainly think a well-developed pool like ours could certainly figure out, you know, the last time I checked, a 10 or 12-year-old kid can't drive. So mom or dad or uncle or grandma or whatever drives the little kid up to the pool
Or they ride their bikes or they walk.
from
Yeah.
Iowa Falls.
Oh, from Iowa Falls. Okay, yeah.
So grandma brings the little boy up to the pool to swim. Grandma might need a tank of gas on the way home. Grandma might need a lot of stuff. You know, this $90,000 from Lost is local option sales tax. Every time somebody buys a candy bar at Quick Star or gets a Pepsi at wherever, they pay into that. That's what that number is. And so I think we're just leaving money on the table. If Iowa Falls closes a month early,
And they do every year, by the way.
well, then.
They do. They close at the beginning of August.
Okay, then, you know, that's something to put an ad in the Iowa Falls paper that says, your passes are welcome here.
But Iowa Falls got that money. And I know, like, this is more you guys to talk about, but Iowa Falls got that money originally. We didn't get any of that.
Right. But I think that, maybe I'm narrow-minded on the whole thing, but I think we can make and capitalize on that. So I'm done at the end of the year, so my opinion's not going to matter, but.
Oh, I understand. And I'm very passionate about we should try and make money on it as much as we can and not lose $90,000.
Well, you know,
And we do have people from out of town that do also already buy passes to
Okay.
Hampton. Like Belmont hasn't had a pool in quite a few years. We have a lot of people who come over for swimming lessons from those communities already.
and I see they
So-
just approved a big deal over there,
They
like
did.
97% want a
Yeah.
pool over there, so.
They do.
And I mean, not every year you're going to have $79,000 worth of capital improvement.
No.
So that spent money on that. But again, I think if we can do it, we can do it. And, you know, that concession number could go up if they buy their treats at the pool and,
Well, that's the other thing too, with the electronic system, we can make sure we keep track of everything. Not saying that there was kids that were taking some things here and there, but there may have been, even if it was employees taking things here and there. And like, if we can keep track of what we have in concessions and what we're selling, we can make those numbers match. Right now, there's absolutely no way to do that.
well,
So-
then let's look into this around February 1st instead of May 31st and
Oh,
see
yeah.
what we can't get done. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
we're up for doing this. I mean, I know we are, because if it's going to help our revenue on this and get people honest on it, then we need to do it. So, yeah, let's look into it.
Absolutely.
Do we take credit cards
Nope,
up there?
we do not. We do not have
Think
internet. We do
should-
not take credit cards.
I think we
anything.
should at least do credit cards.
Absolutely, we had to
I
turn
see
away-
a significant difference at the Windsor, like on buying concessions by taking.
And
credit
we've had to turn away a lot of people that have come
Right.
because we haven't taken credit card. So, any other questions?
I was just wondering, with the electronic system, I think there would be some grant money out there somewhere, a direction to go. Would you know
I wouldn't,
where
I
to
mean,
steer a person to
I
start
have no
researching
idea.
that?
I mean, I'm sure just Google at first with that.
So
for
I know,
grant
like,
money.
with Main Street, they're pretty big on giving grants for people to go electronic. But I mean, that pool wouldn't, so I was just wondering if there would be other grants out there that would.
Yeah, I mean, I think Barkamar Community Foundation would be two good places to start.
The other thing though is we would need Wi-Fi up there as well.
Right.
That's something, I mean,
You'd
I'd
be
asked
able
her
to
that
do
a
your
couple of
credit
years ago
card
too.
also.
What?
You'd be able to do the credit card,
Yeah,
would be probably a part of that
a part of
electronic
that as
system.
well. Yes.
When are those applications due for Barkama grants?
I think in January sometime.
January or February, I think, is when they are.
So it would
I
be
think they're
cool to get
available
some
now.
information and cost and stuff, and that would be awesome to
I could find out
Do
what some of
that.
the other pools' point-of-sale system is. I don't know what they have or what they use for any of those things. I just know when I've gone to some of those other pools and stuff for different various reasons, they all have like an iPad that they,
Do you have a way to find out?
I could probably try.
Okay.
B. Rockwell's got one.
Do.
Yeah, I don't know, like if these other smaller pools do or not, but
You have a way to find out?
Calling the other pools.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would assume as well. And then the last thing I know, again, just as workshop, that I would like to address is pay for lifeguards has not been upped in a long time. And I know I hate comparing things, but I know that our city mowers get paid what I get paid, even our like teenagers, and our lifeguards who have to watch the water, get certified, get paid $10 an hour. So this is also something to kind of keep in mind and think about. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people are not planning to come back in the future as well. So just kind of keeping that in mind.
And we can talk about that during budget time. One thing to keep
Absolutely.
in mind that the seasonal mowers also may be holding a string trimmer all day for multiple days. So
Oh, I
it's
totally
strenuous.
understand that.
I know.
But working at the pool for
It's-
8 hours in the sun also.
I know, they're just,
yeah.
they're not the same. They have different stresses and
I understand.
challenges, yeah.
I know, that's why I said I hate comparing, but
Yeah.
they have to have a certification, they have to buy their own uniforms, all of that kind of stuff. And I know they do get reimbursed for some of it, but costs have gone up. So. Any other questions?
I'd like to thank you for all the work you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When we don't hear anything, it's good.
Oh, I know. I know. There was a couple of times that I'm like, I emailed them right away because I was like, I heard this or somebody did call me and blah, blah, blah. So I emailed right away, just say like, if you hear this, this is what happened. Yes, they're mad at me. It's okay. They can be mad at me. I just don't want them mad at the lifeguards for following my rules or the city's rules or whoever else's rules.
Did you have quite a few pool parties?
Oh, yes. Oh, I had that written down. I skipped right over that. I'm so sorry. We had on my, like when I looked at my calendar of other things, we had 18 pool parties that I know of for sure. There might have been a couple more. Most of them, though, were taking place in July and August. So, like, we actually had to tell some people no. So we were trying to figure out a way to encourage more during June, even though I know that we have a few less lifeguards because of baseball and softball. But yes, we did. And we do pool parties, like, in the morning on Saturdays, too. So that helped a lot. We had, like, 4 of those this year. So sometimes we had a pool party in the morning and a pool party at night. So,
And the weather in June was not good.
no, this year, the June weather was kind of, that was the weird weather. You're not wrong. Any other questions?
Thanks.
Okay,
just wanna-
thank you. Oh,
I just want to pipe in here really quick, Emily. Number one, thank you for everything that you do at the with the swimming pool. And all this stuff that you come and give us the report, that's important stuff that we need to see because we don't know what we don't know.
true.
And if you bring it to us, then we can at least talk about some things and make it better, hopefully.
Yeah.
And move forward. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
All right. All right. Next item on the agenda tonight, Dick Lukensmeyer of the Hampton Tree Board, requesting approval of planting trees.
Mayor, Dick is not present. Is there anyone from the tree board here? I don't believe so. So I'll just run down, Dick had requested prior to the last council meeting that they be allowed to plant 3 trees, one at East Park, north of the playground equipment, one on the south edge of the aquatic center parking lot, basically the top of the hill, and then Harriman Park to, which is along the, 19th Avenue, between the road and the creek, to plant a black maple tree. I think all these trees have been planted, but anyway, he's not here, so, and they're planted, so. Any questions?
So that's like putting the cart ahead of the horse.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's why we asked them to come in and at least give us an idea what they're doing. So, I mean, it doesn't sound like these 3 trees are gonna create a problem. I don't know exactly where they're at. I haven't looked at them yet. I can do that next week. But, you know,
And I
the
think,
thing, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I believe Dick is well aware that the council wants to be informed ahead of time. There was a timing issue last time, and I think they were concerned about the weather, but I think we have expressed the council's interest in being involved ahead of time, and they're gonna do their best to comply with that.
All right, well, we appreciate that, so. I think at this point, we approve the tree, the 3 trees that have been planted, unless other problems arise, and we'll take them out. So, if everybody's okay with that, we will move forward.
I don't hear any opposition.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next item. This is discuss the mayor veto of ordinance 407, and I'll just read this back to you, and possibly what our options are with this, and we can go from there for any further discussion. Mayor Steve Bertzel, I can't know my name, Bertzel, veto ordinance 407, which amended section 69.08 of the Hampton Municipal Code, which subsection as follows for no parking zones. This was 3rd Avenue Southeast on the north and south side of the street from 3rd Street Southeast to 4th Street Southeast. 3rd Street Southwest on the east side from Central Avenue to 1st Avenue Southwest. The reason for the veto is that I don't believe that the homeowners were all provided ample notice of the change that was taking place in their neighborhood on 3rd Avenue Southeast between 3rd Street and 4th Street Southeast. As we had discussed previous, on the night of the 3rd reading of the ordinance, adding parking to the south side of 3rd Street Southeast from the alley from Source to 4th Street, which is since Highway 65, instead of both sides of the street, the whole block, would help alleviate the congestion that we're having for traffic turning west off of 4th Street or Highway 65. Given that the previous 2 readings were 6-0 and 6-0, and the 3rd read was 4-2 after we heard from the homeowner. I felt that there was additional discussion that should take place before we make this change, so we make sure that we have the appropriate ordinance in place for this neighborhood. So that was my submission for the veto. Basically, what happens, the council can actually override that. They can override the vote, the veto on the same ordinance as we voted on, which would require a supermajority of 2/3 vote to pass, or you can allow the veto to rescind the vote from the 3rd reading and introduce an ordinance to amend the same section 69.08 with a subsection for no parking as followed. 3rd Avenue Southeast on the south side from the alley to 4th Street Southeast. And then the other one that was kind of rolled up in with us was the 3rd Street Southwest on the east side from Central Avenue East or West to 1st Avenue Southwest. So we do nothing. We let the veto go through. That takes care of that ordinance. We craft a new ordinance that we need that will allow the problem the congestion to be alleviated. And I think that one homeowner has a truck and a trailer that he has to utilize street parking for that, for his business. And he doesn't have room in his driveway to do that. So, I mean, it's something that we need to look at, in my opinion. So it opened up to any discussion from the council.
I just say let it stand, and we'll discuss at the next council meeting, but I just let it stand, let the veto stand.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer.
I would like to add that when we did discuss this, I did ask Mark Morrison's opinion about this, and he was in favor of this no parking situation because of the danger of coming off of 4th Avenue or Highway 65 and turning, or trying to enter, and you've got those cars parked on both sides of the street and visibility is blocked. So I like to put my faith in Mark Morrison's judgment.
I guess it's my neighborhood and I know what's going on there. And Doug and Mark both agreed. But we don't have any ordinances that take care of the problem there. And if we have no parking there, he's gonna park in front of my house. I don't want someone else parking in front of my house. So I say leave it lay. Don't even change it.
I guess my concern was just, are we just kicking the can down the street? Much to say what you said, Barry, is he just going to move it one block down, and is there going to be issues as a result of that? But I do understand what you're saying, Jerry. Coming off the highway is, could be very risky with a lot of cars there, or getting back onto the highway.
From 7 to 8 in the morning and 3 to 4 in the afternoon, you've got school buses, transit bus, people picking their kids up, but if it's vetoed, I say leave it lay.
I think currently we have no parking on the north side of 3rd Avenue from 4th Street to the alley. That's why I think, and that, some of our conversations said, if we took both sides of that first half a block, is going to alleviate the congestion coming off the highway and coming back onto the highway. If that guy with the trailer can push that back a block, I think that's going to make a big difference. That's my opinion. I think what I'm hearing here is that we let we take no action. We let the veto go. We put this on a workshop, and let's hammer it out and get the correct ordinance in place for this neighborhood so that it's safe and everybody can work with it.
Well, we still need to just address next to Quick Star and Hardee's.
Correct. That'll take a separate ordinance if this.
Right, and for that, I think we ought to just waive the second and third reading, because we've already,
Right.
it's already been in front of us.
Correct. So, Mr. Dunt, on the veto, we have to wait 30 days for that? I know that the council has 30 days to take action on that, I believe.
Yeah, they have 30 days to override it, so essentially by doing nothing, they are just letting the veto stand. So
Okay.
I would suggest not having a new reading till after that 30 days has passed, but just for clarification, if we let the veto stand, you want me to draft a new ordinance for the one between Quickstar and Hardee's, and get that moving? Is that the kind of direction you want to go?
I
And then
would,
the
yeah.
other one we'll wait and talk about at a workshop? Is that, because I could probably have that for Thursday for a first reading, if that's the consensus.
That sounds good.
I think that makes
So-
sense.
I just have a question, Ron, for
Yeah.
clarification. So if we let the veto stand, that means we're giving up our 30-day option, is that what you're saying, to override the veto? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think technically, if you do nothing, the clock still ticks on your 30 days. And if you all change your mind within 30 days, you could override the veto.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
I guess I was just thinking, and I understand what Jerry said, but it would be nice to talk to Mark and Doug and see if there was an option where instead of the entire south side of that street be made no parking, perhaps we could change it. A lot of communities, you can't park within 100 feet of a stop sign when you're coming up to an intersection, and I don't know how far you could bring that back and still allow this individual room to park his vehicle in front of his house. I don't know how far that particular sits from the stop sign, but maybe Doug and Mark could address that. Just a thought.
At a workshop when we discuss it, that could be
Yep,
discussed.
I think that's good, that we will get everybody involved in this, so that we have it correct. Yep, I agree. All right. Any further discussion on that at this point? If not, we'll move on. Next item we have is the discuss moving the next council workshop to November 20th at 6 p.m. Basically what we do for Thanksgiving, we always move the council meeting from Thursday to Monday. Given that we're trying to get this chicken ordinance and regulations put in place, I think, leaving out a workshop kind of works against us. That really puts it way down the road another 2 to 4 weeks. So my suggestion is to go ahead and move that 24th workshop to Thursday, November 20th, so that we can discuss the livestock ordinance and get this thing moving. So if everybody's okay with that, any objections to that?
I say 5 o'clock.
Did you hear that, Mayor?
Want to do 5 o'clock?
That's what Mr. Lamos commented.
Okay. Anybody have a problem with that? I mean, I'm.
Well, we should leave it because of the media and everything. It'd throw a wrench into stuff.
So you're saying leaving it at 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's good with 6
6.
on the 20th for
Yeah.
our workshop? The main agenda item will be the livestock ordinance, and so we can get that thing moving and kick around down the road.
Kristen, are you okay with that?
Yep, I'm fine.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for everybody. That's all I have on the agenda tonight. So I appreciate everybody's discussion and concerns, and we will let you.
Thank you.
Somebody's got to bang that